Have you ever wondered that? You know, those photos from the 1800s and early 1900s. The faded colors, the misty air, and the people in them. Their faces full of seriousness, stern looks, upright posture. As if they had just failed to pay their debts and the bailiff was at the door. But the background is much more interesting. Today, we'll dive into the dusty streets of the past. And we won't just learn the answer to this question. We'll also understand the people of that era a little better. If you're ready, let's begin. First, think about this. Taking a selfie today is a matter of seconds, right? You grab your phone, smile, click, and it's done. But back in the 1800s, things weren't that simple. Taking a photo was much more complicated than it is today. It wasn't just a 1 or 2 minute process. People had to stay still for minutes, sometimes hours. Cameras were so primitive that capturing an image required very long exposure times. Imagine this. You're getting your photo taken, and the camera says, "Okay, now smile and hold it," for at least 15 minutes. Try smiling without moving for 15 minutes. Your face muscles would burn. So people naturally preferred a neutral expression. It was more comfortable and definitely more sustainable. But was that the only reason? Of course not. There was also a cultural side to it. At the time, smiling wasn't really seen as respectable. In Western cultures especially, appearing serious and reserved was associated with wealth, maturity, and dignity. Smiling was often linked to being frivolous. People avoided it so they wouldn't seem unserious. Imagine, for them, a photo wasn't like a casual selfie. It was a lifelong memory, something to leave behind for their grandchildren. That's why they wanted to appear respectable and serious in those photos. There was also another reason: dental health. Yes, you heard right. Back then, dental care wasn't like today. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, mouthwash rare or only for the wealthy. Many people had missing or decayed teeth. Nobody wanted to show that in a photo that would be kept for years. Naturally, they avoided smiling, so you might ask now, were there no smiling people at all? There were, but mostly in cartoons and illustrations. Artists drew exaggerated, funny smiles to entertain. That made smiling seem silly or unserious, even in pictures. It only reinforced the idea that smiling was inappropriate for serious portraits. But over time, things changed. By the mid-1900s, especially after the 1930s, smiling became more common. Advertisements and Hollywood played a big role. Smiling started to be seen as attractive and desirable. Technology helped too. As exposure times shortened, people could pose more comfortably. Taking a picture became easier, and smiling became natural. That's how we got to today, smiling instinctively when we see a camera. So when you see those old photos, don't forget, they may lack smiles, but they tell a story. That seriousness reflects both technical challenges and cultural values of the time. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care and see you next time.